Hello guys, I am Vishali Kikan. We are discussing Unit 4, Chemical Bonding and Structure. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the Lewis structure. First of all, we should know what is the Lewis structure. It is a diagram which is showing all valence electrons in a given molecule. Right? So instead of just showing the bonds between the two atoms, we are showing all of the valence electrons. Now here I will be using the dots and cross for the electrons in the different atoms to indicate where the electrons originally came from. Right? This is my H2O molecule. In the hydrogen we know we have 1 valence electron. In the oxygen we have 6 valence electron. So the oxygen valence electrons are represented by dot and the valence electron of hydrogen was represented with cross. So you can see this is a structure which is called the Lewis structure. Now coming to the rules for working on the Lewis structure, right? So what are the various rules? We should have the 8 electrons in the outer shell, right? So the outer atom will be having the 8 electrons in their outer shell, but we have an exception for hydrogen. Hydrogen will be having 2 electrons in the outer shell. By what we can do? We can convert the 8 electrons in the outer atoms, outer shell, by using double bond, triple bond, single bond, or even positive or negative charges. We have to see the outer atoms. We have to make 8 electrons in the outer shell of outer atoms. Then the central atom. Central atom, if it is belonging from the period 2, it must not have more than 8 electrons in the outer shell, right? It should generally have the noble gas configuration. Whereas if the central atom is from period 3, it will be having up to 18 electrons in the outer shell. So I will be showing the different examples to you. So this is the Lewis structure of NF3. Right, we know in the nitrogen's outer shell we have 5 electrons which are represented by dot. In the fluorine's outer shell we have 7 electrons which are represented by cross. So now here these 3 electrons of nitrogens are having shared with the fluorine's cross atom, right? So this is one shared pair, this is one shared pair, this is one shared pair, right? So how I can represent this structure? So nitrogen is having a lone pair, here it is having single bond with the fluorine. Here in the fluorine we have 3 lone pairs. Again it is having a single bond with fluorine which is having the 3 lone pair. It is having a single bond with fluorine having 3 lone pairs. So this is how we can make the structure of NF3. Now coming to the CO3 2 negative, right? So now in the CO3 2 negative we have 2 oxygen negative and 1 simple oxygen. So we know if I have oxygen negative, then we have in the outer shell 7 electrons. In the oxygen we have 6 electrons in the outer shell, whereas in the carbon in the outer shell we have 4 electrons. So the 4 electrons are carbon are represented by cross. Now O negative, here this represents the negative electron, right, which means the O negative. This is also the O negative and this O is combined with the C, or it is bonded with the C with the help of a double bond. So here you can see we have a double bond and 2 lone pair, right? Here we have a single bond and 3 lone pair. Here we have a single bond and 3 lone pair. Now if I have taken the double bond for this oxygen and O negative as these 2 oxygens, I can change the representation as well. So we can have different resonance structure, which means the molecule is same but the representation is now different. So here these 3 represent CO3 2 negative only, but here the double bond is present over here and these 2 are O negative. So here double bond is present over here, these 2 are O negative. Double bond is present over here, these 2 are O negative. So now we have all of them representing the same CO3 2 negative. Similarly for representation of ozone we have O single bond O double bond O, or O double bond O single bond O. So now these are the 2 resonant structure of ozone. So now what would be the actual structure? It is a hybrid of individual resonance structures, right? So we can take the hybrid of both of them, that would be the actual structure. Now we have the 2 possible structures for the same molecule, right? So if we have the silicon which is combining with the oxygen, now coming to the 2 possible structures for the same molecule. So here we have the sulfur and the oxygen combination. Now when the sulfur is combining with the oxygen, there is two possibility. Sulfur does not expand its octet because the sulfur is belonging to the group 3. So it may expand its octet or it may not expand its octet. So when the sulfur is not expanding its octet, sulfur can react with the oxygen. Sulfur will be having the 6 valence electron and oxygen is also having the 6 valence electron. So now here we can make a double bond and we can have oxygen's double bond with the sulfur, right? And this oxygen is not bonded with the sulfur. Now sulfur can expand its octet as well as it is belonging to the group 3 and it can have maximum 18 number of electrons. So now how we can represent this? We can have the double bond of sulfur with this oxygen and the single bond of the sulfur. This is a coordinate bond with this oxygen. So now this is an extra pair of electron which has made the bond with the oxygen. So we have over here oxygen which is having the 2 lone pair connected with a double bond with the sulfur, having 1 lone pair which is connected with the oxygen with a 3 lone pair. Now we can have the maximum electrons as 18 as I already told you. So what we can do, we can make the 2 double bonds of the sulfur with both of the oxygens as well. So now here you can see sulfur is having double bond with both of the oxygen and both of the oxygen are having 2 lone pairs and the sulfur is having 1 lone pair. Now coming to the alternative technique to draw the Lewis structure, how we can work upon the Lewis structure. So we have various steps to work upon the Lewis structure. First of all, we have to add up the total number of valence electrons in all of the atoms in or what all atoms are present in the given molecule or ion, right? Then if I know the total number of valence electron, I have to divide it by 2 to find out the total number of valence electron pair. Now each pair of electron is represented by a line. Either it's a line of a lone pair or it's a line of covalent bond or any other bond, right? Now arrange the lines to join atom at least by single bond. Whatever number of atoms are present, at least arrange all of them by single line, right? We have to bond them with a single bond and outer atoms have full outer shells connected to 4 lines. Now we have to work upon the outer electrons, outer atoms. Outer atoms will be having the full outer shell. We have to make the 8 electrons in the outer shell of outer atoms, right? So we have to connect the 4 lines to them. Rearrange lines so that the period 2 atom have 4 pair of electron and the outer atom which already had 4 pair, now it may be involving moving the lone pair to make them bonded pair of electrons. So now we have not to disturb the outer electrons pair and we have to move them in such a manner that the central atom will also be having the valence electron, that is 8 number of electrons. So now let's see and understand this with the help of this example. NO3 negative. In the NO3 negative, the total number of electrons for nitrogen, the valence electron is 5, for oxygen it is 6, but there we have 3 oxygens, so 6 into 3 plus because we have the negative charge over here, so because of the negative charge we have 1 electron that is extra. So total we have 24 electron. How many electron pair would be there? So it will be having 24 divided by 2, we have 12 pair or 12 lines. So we have 4 atoms over here and 3 O. So at least we have to connect all of them with 1 line. Now what I have to do, I have to see the outer atoms that are oxygen and I have to make 4 lines on them. So 3 lines were already there. Now I have to connect 3 lines with all of the oxygen as a lone pair so that all of the oxygen atoms are having 4 lines. Now you can see the nitrogen is not having the 8 electrons, right? So what we can do, we can move this lone pair over here and we can convert it as a double bond, right? So here we will be having O with the single bond with the nitrogen and this oxygen is connected as a double bond with the nitrogen. Now coming to the NO2 negative. In the NO2 negative we have the total electrons to be 18. Now 18 electrons means we have 9 pairs, which means we have the representation, at least if I connect 1 line in between NO, we will be having representation like this. Now after that we have to make all 4 lines on the outer electrons, that is oxygen. Now again you can see in the nitrogen we have only 2 lines, so what we can do, we can change this lone pair, convert it into the double bond, right? So now after converting all of the outer electrons into 4 pair of electrons, we have still one line left which we can put on nitrogen. And now nitrogen has 3 lines. I have to convert the 4th line. So what I will be doing, I will be converting this lone pair into double bond. Now O3 is isoelectronic to NO2. So when we have the same number of electrons, the structure would be same. So O3 will be having the structure same like NO2 negative. So now coming to the NO2 positive and CO2. So now again, if you see the valence electrons of NO2 positive and CO2, it is isoelectronic. The number of valence electrons will be same and the structure would be represented like this. And now I hope you understood how to make the structure, right? So I hope you understood all of the Lewis structures. Thank you so much.